Earlier this week, the unimaginable happened. Something rather shocking, if you will. The greatest heavy metal band in the world, Steel Panther, emerged from the depths of former bass player Lexi Fox's mom's garage to head to Pasadena, California to appear on America's Got Talent. Were they there for the all-you-can-eat catering, or to lower the bar on the show and prove once and for all that heavy metal really does rule? Probably a little bit of both, but definitely the first one. That's right, Steel Panther is now on the prowl to win this season of AGT. How did the audition go? What did the judges think? What other songs could they play that would be appropriate for TV? How can a band like that ooze into the mainstream, especially in today's hypersensitive climate? Let's discuss. I was quite surprised a couple of weeks ago when the band posted this photo online as a sort of surprise announcement that they were going to appear on the new season of AGT. Seriously, April Fool's Day was like a couple of months ago or something. Nonetheless, though, last Tuesday rolled around and there they were. Now look, before we get too deep into this thing, I do want to point out, in my humble opinion at least, this is purely a form of marketing. Genius marketing, don't get me wrong, but definitely a way to promote the band. Anyways, the band makes their way on stage, and of course, everybody acts shocked that Steel Panther is there. And Jesus Christ, look at Simon Cowell. Holy Botox. Singer Michael Starr is starting to show some age as well, but these guys are like in their 70s, I guess, so it's pretty understandable. They finally blast into a shortened version of Eyes of a Panther, and wow, what a performance. I've seen a few people online saying that Michael is singing to a track on AGT, but take a look at the performance closely. He clearly is not. There's a number of occasions where he'll skip a word or two. He won't hold a note out as long as he does on the record, things like that. I guess he could have pre-recorded it that way to make it sound live, mistakes and all, but why the hell would anyone do that? Unsurprisingly, the four judges, Howie Mandel, Heidi Klum, Sofia Vergara, and Simon Cowell, absolutely love it, with Howie noting that this kind of music should be back in the forefront, which I couldn't agree more. Simon thought it was great, saying that he could see it in Vegas, which clearly he's not familiar with the band's history in Vegas. And Sofia Vergara saying that her husband, the great actor and famous Dungeons & Dragons nerd Joe Manganiello, hired the band for his 40th birthday party, so obviously everybody knew who the band were. But what a party that must have been. Probably exactly like the song Tomorrow Night Come to Life. Even AGT host Terry Crews was getting into it. Obviously the band made the cut, but I'm curious to see how far this thing really goes. As I mentioned earlier, I do believe that this is all for show. It's most certainly scripted, as I highly doubt the band would even compete if they could, and not to mention Sofia Vergara said that she knew who the band was already. That being said, it appears that they will make at least one more appearance on the show, but with Eyes of a Panther arguably being the only song in their catalog, which is like 6 albums deep now, by the way, that's family friendly, what else could they perform? From the first record, Feel the Steel, Eyes of a Panther is without a doubt the only song that could work, unless they did an extremely edited version of Community Property. There's really nothing at all from Balls Out, but imagine Critter. The Burden of Being Wonderful from All You Can Eat, and maybe If I Was the King, but If I Was the King is most certainly not a key track in the Steel Panther catalog. Imagine, though, if they played, I guess we'll say GB at the old folks' home. That would be absolutely incredible, totally hilarious, and I'm sure that that old couple that they showed on screen during the AGT appearance would really be able to relate to that one. There's probably a small handful from some of the more recent albums, but in my opinion, those first two records, Feel the Steel and Balls Out, are about as perfect as it gets. Take away the lyrics, over-the-top filth or no filth, those are some damn good rock and roll songs. Let me know what songs you think they could play for future AGT performances down in the comments. I think what's really shocking, though, about Steel Panther being on AGT is how a band that is the furthest thing from PC, whether it's comedy or not, it was able to get on to such a mainstream TV show in this day and age of extreme sensitivity. Hell, some comedians have even been canceled for jokes that are far less quote-unquote offensive than some Panther songs. I mean, imagine what could happen if someone had saw them on AGT and then checked them out on YouTube or Spotify. Things could get real sticky, pun intended, real quick. Good for them, though, for being able to achieve this. As Joe Rogan once mentioned about Dave Chappelle, maybe Chappelle himself even said this, I'm not sure, but you can't cancel somebody who doesn't give a fuck about being canceled. You know, I did an interview with Stix Zadinia a few years ago, which I'll link down in the description, and his viewpoint on today's culture is that if the world were a pendulum, right now it's all the way to one side, but hopefully, one would hope that eventually it will go right back in the middle. It really is a great, insightful interview with him, though. Definitely worth checking out. A little bit of a shameless plug there. Either way, though, I guess we'll see what happens over the next few weeks after the auditions are finished airing, whenever the hell that is. But it will certainly be interesting to see how all of this plays out. And I really hope that this will expose Steel Panther to an entire new generation as they so deserve. And hopefully, if we're lucky, this will teach some people to lighten the fuck up and learn to just take a joke. If you don't want to see or hear something, the solution is simple. Just don't fucking watch it. I do want to point out, though, that this is not Steel Panther's first time on national TV. Back in November of 2018, the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing the Carolina Panthers, and ironically enough, Steel Panther showed up on the Thursday Night Football broadcast, as they, of course, had gotten confused. They thought they were performing when they heard it was a Steelers-Panthers game. Clever marketing, and again, absolutely incredible that they were able to pull that off with the NFL. Terry Bradshaw is also hilarious in the clip. Check it out.
Steelers Panthers, what a great matchup.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a Super Bowl preview.
Hey, guys. Hey, somebody told us that we're headlining Thursday Night Football. What are we setting up?
Who are you guys?
Only the greatest heavy metal band in the world, Steel Panther.
Yeah, what's up? We don't have Steel Panther on Thursday Night Football. It's Steelers Panthers.
Oh, that makes more sense. You guys need a house band?
I don't think we need a house band.
Excellent. We'll go set up on stage right now. Let's
Let's do this, man. Thursday Night Football.
get in tune.
Hey, did you guys hear Steel Panther? Hey, they're on the show. Huh? Is that cool? Huh? Hey, those guys shred. You know what I'm talking about? And get this, we go to the same hairstylist.
20 years ago, God, I can't even believe 2003 was that long ago. Holy shit. Before they went by Steel Panther and they were known as Metal Shop, they performed a cover of Cleveland Rocks for the Drew Carey Show intro, and of course famously appeared in a Discover commercial under the name Danger Kitty. Check it out.
The year was 1983, and Danger Kitty released their hit single, Love Rocket. With it came instant fame and fortune. They bought mansions, cars, and the finest women's clothing. But by 1984, the fans left, the fortune was gone, and the dream was over. Desperate for money, Danger Kitty last performed at the Smuckler Bar Mitzvah.
Some people just can't live within their means. A Discover card with spending management tools for the slightly smarter consumer.
They would eventually change their name to Metal School before settling on Steel Panther in mid-2008. And right around that time of the transition, I believe they were still going by Metal School at this time, but I'm not 100% on that. They appeared as the house band for the roast of Gene Simmons on his Family Jewels show. As Metal School, they also appeared on an episode of Las Vegas, in the episode The High Price of Gas, and then, of course, famously performed a cover of Aldo Nova's Fantasy for the theme song for Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. I really don't know how these guys do it. I mean, even when they were nobodies and just really nothing more than a cover band. They were making all of these high-profile appearances that nobody else, even bands bigger than them, can't even seem to snag. Good for them, though, and seriously, love them or hate them, you truly cannot deny the genius that is Steel Panther. All right, though, I gotta run. I gotta see if my fiance really, really loves me by letting me give her the shocker, so I gotta go. But thanks so much for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.